You're listening to Both Sides of the Front Porch. Two Southern voices, two different perspectives, one real conversation. Pull up a chair. It's real talk, y'all.
Hey y'all, I'm Tammy.
And I'm Edward. And
And
we're
we are both sides of the front porch.
Hey y'all, welcome back again to Both Sides of
Hi
the Front Porch.
guys. Yes,
Look,
both sides of the front porch.
I have my ugly Christmas sweater on.
And I have my pretty Christmas sweatshirt on.
This right here, this ugly Christmas sweater is about how I'm feeling right now with this whole holiday season.
Why?
I'm not feeling it. Like, where did it come from?
Oops.
Number one, it just came out of nowhere. Like, all of a sudden, it's Christmas and you're having to do all this extra stuff, spend this extra money, buy all this extra food and travel everywhere. I don't know. I'm just a Scrooge this year for some reason. I normally have our yard completely decorated, like you're going to some, I don't know, lights exhibit. Our yard is every tree's decorated. This year we have no trees decorated. We have our Christmas tree up inside, and normally the inside looks like the Biltmore house or whatever, but not this year.
Right. Yeah, I finally got my Christmas tree up. I was a little late this year because it seemed like right at the beginning of December, I got all these orders for Christmas and all the things, and I completely sold out of inventory. I'm gonna have to start all over. I have a few candles left, and that's it. I sold out of everything.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but I did get my Christmas tree up. I've only got one gift left to buy, and I'm completely done.
We went to South Carolina this past Saturday to see my family, and went to the store to buy gifts for my mom and her fiance Friday night.
Oh my gosh, talk about last minute.
I mean, that tells you I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know, but you know what they
excited.
say? 'Tis the season. This is the season. What do they say? Jesus is the reason for the season. Is what the
Jesus
whole.
is the reason for the season. 'Tis the season to be jolly.
But is that true? Is that true though? I mean, Jesus is the reason for the season. I know Christians think that that's true, but is that how people really act?
I don't I don't think it's how they really act, but I do believe that he is the reason for the season and that you should never lose sight of that.
But do you think we have lost sight of that though? I mean, if you think about the ginormous economy boom that Christmas brings,
Right,
or whatever,
right.
it's all about sales and buying this. And if it's not buying the toys, the clothes, the jewelry, the food, it's nothing, it's nothing compared to, what people try to make it out to be in my mind. They try to make it out to be, oh my gosh, it's about the birth of Jesus Christ, or isn't it? Is that what it is?
Yes, this is
Right.
birth.
Yeah, the birth of Jesus is about the birth of Jesus Christ, but really is like, I don't
And do you know
know.
why we give? What is giving someone a present? What does that represent? Do you even know?
Well, I mean, like for me, if you're asking me personally, it's about being generous and nice and hospitable. Mhm.
And when at Christ's birth, if the story of Jesus that you have the kings and the wise men that come to see the baby and they bring presents to him of gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Of what?
It's gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which is
What is that?
um well, you don't know what gold is? It's like what we make our
Oh
jewelry
no,
out
I
of.
know that, but frankincense and myrrh.
Frankincense is myrrh.
Oh, I thought
Those
you said
are
merch.
I'm gonna have me some Jesus merch. I'm bringing it. Jesus is the reason.
Again, that is another way that people are making money off of this poor old man.
Yeah. And Edward, you killing me. You are killing me. But I do think that we lose sight of that. And another thing that I think that at Christmas, it's the thought that we'll just use me for an example because I love to give presents. I like to I like to listen to what people talk about throughout the year and then take from that and that's how I give them a present. And and I like to give something like I'll give you an example. At my Dolly job, I gave presents to management and it was something homemade, like the cookie boxes and all the things. And then another little something in there for like a little treat. And I always think I think I would rather give than receive. I love to give presents, and it's not about the dollar amount, it's about the gift, it's about the thought, and when you if you give me a present, I'm so thankful, and I don't care what it is. It could be anything in the world. If you take time out of your day to think about me and bring me a gift, I'm so grateful. I just think
Well,
that's beautiful.
yeah, I agree. Here's the thing that drives me bonkers. And my sister did it to me this weekend. And not only did it wasn't embarrassing to me, it really pissed me off. So I asked her before we went, I said, "Are we doing a gift exchange?" No, no gift exchange. So we were playing these little, these fun games or whatever, and she was doing like these little prizes for whoever won the game, and like
Mhm.
Bath and Body hand soap and hand sanitizer, and gosh, there was
How cute.
so many different things, and, like, she had you choose from tray 1, tray 2, or tray 3. Tray 2 had, like, packages of candy, just all types of candy, and tray 3 was lottery tickets, and, I mean, it was a stack of lottery tickets, so I said, "Okay, well, I'll contribute to the game then." So we brought, like, 4 gifts for the game.
Mhm.
Well, we get there, and she didn't tell anybody else that we weren't doing a gift exchange except for us. So we're the only ones that show up with no gifts. That made
How
me s
awkward.
It was so awkward, and I hate when people do that. I hate when employees do that and you're not expecting it, because then you feel like, "Oh my god," I told my sister, "I feel like I'm like some kinda bum just showing up to a party and mooching off of people and getting all these gifts and leaving." So, when I left the party, or, the whatever you wanna call it, when I
Your
left my
family
sister's
gathering.
yeah, when I left our sister my family gathering thing, literally, I got home and I Venmoed my sister, and everybody else that gave us a gift, I Venmoed them.
Instead
Because I
of
just for
instead
me
of just accepting the gift and was like, "Oh my gosh, I wasn't clear that blah, blah, blah."
No, it was clear because she clearly told me, and I have evidence by text message. She told me we were not doing a gift exchange, which if we would have
Right.
been doing a gift exchange, which we've done in the past, where we've done like dirty Santa, whatever you want to call it, that's fine. Everybody brings a gift, but we're the only ones, everybody's passing out gifts, and we're the only ones that have nothing in exchange or in return. And that just really made me feel very uncomfortable. And I
Yeah,
hate when
very
people do that.
awkward.
Yes. I hate when people do that, when friends do it, coworkers do it, because you just don't know who's buying, who's giving, just like our management team at work. Some gave, some didn't. You don't know which ones are giving. And I just got a gift today. And I'm just like, I feel really awkward because I don't
You're
have
welcome.
well, yeah, and thank you, I appreciate it, but it makes you feel awkward when you don't have, or you're not prepared to give back when you don't know who's giving to you. But I don't
Mhm.
know, I think that just, this year, this time of year for me, the whole Christmas thing or whatever, for me, it's just a money racket. It is just a made up thing to boost the economy and to get people to spend money on this, so this fictional character can come on Christmas Eve night and bring all the toys that the mom and dad spent money on.
But so mom and dad spending all this money on presents, but they don't get any credit because Santa Claus brought them.
Exactly. Now how that's bullshit.
That is not bullshit. That is sweet.
No, mom and dad should get the credit for the money, the hard-earned money that they spent, that they worked so hard all year. But let me tell you something, by the way, that brings me to this story. I was out Friday night getting stuff or whatever to take to my sister's house, and I am in TJ Maxx over by your house, as a matter of fact, over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in TJ Maxx, and I'm looking at the jewelry counter because
Imagine that.
my mom loves jewelry. I mean, like, she is a jewelry whore. She loves jewelry, and she does not care if it's costume jewelry, if it's cubic zirconia. She does not care. She just loves jewelry. So I'm standing there at the jewelry counter, and I see this lady walking up the aisle pushing a cart. And the reason that it even caught my attention was because she had her cart overflowing with toys. like big, ginormous boxes. And when I tell you it was overflowing, it looked like the Cheech and Chong vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Like it was overflowing. So it immediately caught my attention. And she
Mhm.
was coming from the back of the store up the aisle toward the front. This lady walked straight out the door, and some lady was like to the employee, "Ma'am, she's stealing that stuff." The lady that was walking out the store turned around and looked at the employee and said, "Don't fucking touch me." And the employee turned around and went back to the register, and that lady walked out the store with a full Christmas list fulfilled, honey.
So, they didn't call the police,
Nope,
nothing.
nope.
What in the world?
There was a car sitting out in the at the front, right up against the curb. She loaded the stuff in there as quickly as she could. The trunk was open, honey. I was sitting there watching it like it was some kinda circus
That's the
act.
epitome of junk in the trunk.
I mean, but I'm like, "My god," but she literally and then I was telling this story today, to a coworker, and I
Who
said,
does
"There's
that?
so many thoughts went through my mind about that, though." It's like, the kids got Christmas, you know? She was doing what she needed to do to get her kids Christmas, and if there wasn't
Right,
this Christmas holiday that everybody's gotta spend all this money on, then she wouldn't have sold all the shit.
right.
I mean, I don't know, it just
Lord.
blew my mind, and the thought and the fact that they were just like, "Okay, no problem," and just let her they said, "Hell to the no, honey, we not about to get slit."
Right, they just gonna let her just keep it on keep it moving
"Yes, ma'am, honey," she went
with
back
a
there, look
buggy full of crap. My
toys.
god.
Big old toys, honey, like, it was overflowing, and
I
look,
didn't
this
even
was
know
not her
TJ
first.
Maxx sold
Oh,
toys.
yeah, they got a whole toy department, they have, like, a pet department, they do everything there, and honey,
Yeah,
she
the
she
home goods
fulfilled
part, I
yeah,
guess.
she fulfilled her, Christmas list Friday night, honey.
Check. Okay. Did y'all get something for little Tommy? Check. Did you get something for Jack? Check.
Every kid in the damn neighborhood
Right.
got toys that but anyway, I don't know, it's just
Secret
it's
Santa for the whole 3rd grade.
yes, honey, the school has been toys for tots. I said, "Damn, girl, honey, you got some damn balls on you, honey, to do
I
that,"
mean,
and
just
tell you and here's the thing, she was walking through that store nicely dressed, had on a white sweater with some jeans and some brown, like, dress boots. I mean,
yeah.
she was put together.
She stole them boots from the rack room.
Okay. Honey, she just came from the rack room, honey, but I'm telling you, you would have never she was so nonchalant about it. Like, literally just sashaying straight up the aisle and straight out the
Just
goddamn door.
like, "What you
Honey,
gonna do about it?"
and when I tell
Bye.
you, "Beep, beep, 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 beep," the buzzer went beeping. Honey, she just said, "Don't fucking touch me." And that lady
Oh
said,
my
"Okay," and did
goodness.
a 360 or whatever you wanna call it, 360 on her heels and went straight back into the store. She said she held her hands up. She said, "Not today."
Yeah. It's not worth it. I mean, it it's not worth it to fight somebody over whatever you just shoplifted, I guess.
Listen,
I'm
I
not gonna lose my life. If I ever worked retail or in a bank or anything like that, if somebody were to come in and be like, "I'm fixing to rob you," I'd be like, "You ain't gotta rob me. Here it is," because
oh,
I'm not
that
gonna
happened
lose
one
my
time to
life
me.
over $1,000.
Girl, that happened to me. I worked third shift at a convenience store when I lived in Greenville, South Carolina, and this man came in one night and, pulled a knife out. Honey,
Oh,
when I tell
shit.
you, I was so discombobulated, I didn't know how to I didn't know what button opened the damn register, honey. I'm like, "Oh, shit." I was so discombobulated, when I saw that damn knife, honey, my teeth started chattering. I
It's
did
like, "Hold
not
on. You can have
yeah,
it all. Take
yeah,
it. The beer, the cigarettes,
all of it,
whatever. Take
all
it."
of it. I'm like, "Do you want the pennies? Do you want the pennies? Because I will dump them in your lap."
You can have them.
Yes, but
Take it.
anyway,
Take it.
back to the holidays, I understand it because it's tradition, it's what people do, but it's so annoying to me, and the older I get, the worse it is. I'm just like, "Why are we doing this? Why do people go hundreds, thousands of dollars in debt every
Right.
year to buy these kids these toys and stuff because
Mhm.
it's why? What's the purpose behind it?"
I'm telling you right now, I set myself a budget and that's it.
But help answer the question. Why do you go spend no matter what your budget is, what's the purpose of buying gifts?
I guess it's
Is
the
that
joy
because
of
the Bible
giving.
says to do it?
Now, where in the Bible,
You just said
Edward?
something about
Don't be
gold,
dumb.
merch and
Not
whatever
merch, myrrh.
whatever,
I'm
I
fixing
mean,
to
I don't
Google it. Let me Google it really quick, and I'll tell you the proper spelling and
I
how to
don't know,
say
it
it.
just doesn't make sense to me why it all turns to financial. That's why
Right.
it's just a big made up, way to boost the economy. They do it multiple times a year. They do it Christmas, they do it Valentine's, they do it for Halloween. There's multiple times
Yeah,
a year that the government has created these holidays, quote unquote, so that they can prosper financially. How many
it is a huge money
billions?
maker because, I mean, and you've got and think about it too, you have these people who think that every year they have to outdo somebody. It's not about outdoing somebody, it's about giving somebody something from your heart.
But that's not what it's about though. I mean, really it's not because if you showed up with let's give this scenario. If you showed up with I don't know, a $100 gift card to whatever restaurant, and I showed up with a $5, I don't know, a $5 gift certificate to McDonald's, and you showed up with a $100 gift certificate to I don't know, Outback.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel some kind of way about that. I gave you $5, you gave me 100,
Somebody asked me,
correct?
yeah. N well, you got some family members who'll be like, "He only gave me $5 gift card. I done
Right.
gave him a $50 gift card." What does that matter?
It
If you
matters because,
if you're gonna be worried about what you're getting back, then don't give.
I know you still but I think would you feel some kind of way in that scenario, if you had spent $100 on me, and then I turn around and I'm like, "Oh, hey, here's your $5 McDonald's card," and you gave me a $100 Outback card, would you feel some kind of way about that? Honestly, knowing that you had spent $100 of your money and you only got $5 back. No matter how you wanna say, "Oh, it's the thought that counts." Bullshit.
No, I would not feel some kind of way about that if that is all you if you thought about me enough to go get me a $5 gift card to McDonald's, then I would be happy with that.
Well,
It's
girl, it'll
not
be in your purse when you get home, honey, because it's what I got you. No, I'm kidding.
McDonald's, but you know what? If you gave somebody a $5 gift card from McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, whatever, then you're gonna have to put another 20 with that. Do you know what the prices are?
Absolutely. I don't know. Well, you know what, Tammy? I
It's
just think that
crazy.
I know it's all too financially driven for me. It has nothing to do with what people want to
Mhm,
claim. It has to do with it in my mind. That's just my side of the porch.
mhm.
That I think that everybody's mindset when it comes to Christmas 100% goes to the financial side of it. Who am I getting gifts for? Who's getting me gifts? What do I want for Christmas? Well, what do you want for Christmas this year? Everybody's mindset goes
I
to
never can answer that. What do you want? I
I
don't
know,
know.
right. But everybody's mindset goes to the financial side of it and the gift side of it and not what people want to claim the reason for the
Yeah,
season is.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Scott and I, we just buy whatever we want all year long. Like literally, I've spent so much money on things this year that I wanted. I don't wait until December the 24th or 25th to get it or whatever. We buy what we
To
want when we want
unwrap
it.
it, because I know you don't do Black Friday shopping.
No, I mean, I'm just like, why? Look, I'm impatient. If I want it, I'm gonna get it now. I'm not
Right.
gonna wait, and that's how we've been for years at this point. But this really kind of brings me to my next, thing I wanted to talk about. So speaking of the religious side of this whole season, I know
Mhm,
people say that, Jesus is the reason for the season. It's very
mhm,
biblical and, all of that thing. I just was reading recently on, the Texas just passed a law requiring the 10 commandments to be placed in every public school classroom.
mhm.
And that really made me start thinking, what this would be a great discussion for you and I to have. I mean, I know your background with, your background with, your religious background with your dad and,
Right.
you're
Right,
you're
right.
very religious and all that, and I'm not. And I thought, this would be a really good topic for us to discuss. And I would
Uh-huh.
love to start out with you. Do you think that let's take Texas out of it and just say nationwide. Do you think the 10 commandments, a religious document,
Uh-huh.
should be required, not optional, required to be posted in every school classroom?
I think it should.
And let's elaborate. And why do you think it should?
I think that you should post the 10 commandments in your schools because it's a part of history, first of all. It's a part of biblical history. I don't believe that you should ever try to cover up any part of history. I don't think you should tear down monuments. I don't think you should try to overlook things that have happened in history because history will repeat itself, good or bad. But I think that coming from a religious background, I think that the 10 Commandments should be posted in the school. If you don't believe in God and you don't believe in Christianity or whatever, then your kid doesn't have to read it. It's just there on the wall. It's just like, you know, if I'm in an art museum and I don't like this or I don't believe in this artist, then I'm just going to walk on by. I'm not going to stop and look at it, but it's still there for people who do. I think it should be a choice whether you want to just keep on walking and never look at it, and those who believe in it can look at it and know it's there.
Right. I hear you, and I respect your side of this discussion. My side is this: the Ten Commandments are explicitly religious. So, I have always been a firm believer of the Constitution, separation of church and state. Public schools are funded by all different types of religion:
Mhm.
Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindu, atheists, agnostic. The First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States prohibits government endorsement of religion.
Mhm.
So, how would we justify going against the Constitution of the United States of America that says we cannot do this? It says we cannot, and the government, which is the schools are part of the government because they're publicly funded. How do we justify going against the Constitution and saying, let's do this just because people should have the right to read it
Be
or learn about it if they
represented.
want to?
I mean, represented. They should be able to be represented. Also believe that there should be a moment of silence every morning before school begins.
Well, let's get back. I want to get to that. I do.
Okay,
But
okay.
let's go back. Let's backtrack one sec. How do you justify, though, your thought? And again, I'm not saying your thought's wrong. I'm just saying, how do you
Mhm.
justify the First Amendment, the Constitution of the United States that says prohibits the government from endorsing a religion? When you, in my mind, when you post that 10 Commandment on
Mhm.
the wall in that classroom,
So you just think that because it's a a part of religious history, we're just gonna ignore that because it's part of God or it's part of religion
no,
or
no, no. What I'm
whatever.
saying is the
What about the
Constitution.
Catholic Crusades? Or okay, so if we can't have the 10 Commandments up, we're not gonna talk about the Catholic Crusades, we're not gonna talk about
100%.
Protestants and all the
Not
things.
at all.
So you're just gonna ignore that part of history?
I don't think that you ignore it, but I don't think that you require that it be put up in the classroom because
Mhm.
you know as well as I do, when you're in a classroom, it's a very small confined space. You don't have the option of ignoring that. It's hanging on a wall. They're requiring that it be a 16 by 20
But not in
image
every
in
classroom.
every classroom. They're
I think that's
requiring.
going a little bit far. I think that it should be displayed somewhere in the school, not in every classroom, but definitely displayed in the school.
But here's the thing from my side of this, is students aren't capable of opting out of this. If it is posted publicly in a public school, students don't have the option at that point to not see it or to see it. They can't leave the room. They
Mhm.
have to be in that room with the document.
Mhm.
And just because Christian is, I guess, overwhelmingly, the religion of America or whatever,
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you have to force it down everybody's throat. You want to talk about things that we
But
hear
that's
all the
not
time
forcing it down anybody's throat, it's just displayed. It's
but
not
when
like they're saying, "Now before you sit down and you go get your pencil and you sharpen your pencil, I want you to go over there and read the 10 commandments." It's not saying that, it's just displayed
but you know what? Talk about it
along
at
with the
home.
Constitution, along with other historical documents and things like
But
that.
talk about it at home with your kids. If you wanna talk about something that is that personal to you, and that is that important to you,
So so
then talk
you're
about it at home. That's just like, you wanna
So
say
what
that.
so do you think we should not say the Pledge of Allegiance? Do you think that should be taken away too?
No, I don't, but that's not biblical. That's not Christian. That has nothing to do with religion at
I
all.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God.
It does say one nation under God, you're right.
Yeah,
I forgot that part.
yeah. One nation under God, individual with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything religious oriented should be eliminated from kids having to participate or be a part of it. The
Mhm,
United States Supreme Court, this is documented, has repeatedly ruled that schools must remain religiously neutral. Can't promote it, don't have Bibles in school, don't post 10 commandments at school. This has been something that the United States Supreme Court has consistently ruled against. And then you have Texas, which they're just trying to prove a political point. They're just doing this for political gain, in my mind, and
mhm.
in my opinion. This is not because they truly
And they
want.
are right.
Right. Yeah. But
They're
this
exactly
is.
right. It should be displayed.
Do what?
It should be displayed. I believe the American flag should be displayed. I believe that you should be able to talk about God. And I also believe that if you do not believe in God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, all the things like that, the Holy Trinity, blah, blah, blah. If you don't believe in that, I'm not saying you have to talk about that.
But just imagine a kid who doesn't believe in God, and
Mhm.
there's plenty of them that has to hear about it and cannot remove themselves from it. If you want to
But they
talk
don't
about
have
that.
to hear about it. It's not like you're talking about it. It's just displayed, just like the flag.
So if something's displayed, I guarantee you're going to have conversation about it. There's going to be people sitting there. There's going to be people talking about it. You're going to have school teachers that start directing attention to it. If it's just hanging up in the classroom, it's not going to be hung up and forgotten about. It's going to be talked about.
I
If
disagree.
you wanna talk about your personal religious beliefs, or you wanna talk about the 10 commandments, you wanna, talk about the Bible, whatever, that is your prerogative. Do that at home. Don't bring it
Mhm.
into a public setting to where kids that don't believe don't have the option of walking away or leaving the room. They don't even wanna see it. They don't believe in that garbage. That's their thought process.
I don't I think that you're making a bigger deal of it than it actually is. It's just something on display, just like the flag. I'll give you an example. At my dolly job, at our dolly job, there is something in the conference room. It's this big thing and it's got words on it. I've been there 2.5 years and I've never stopped to read it. I could not tell you. I know it's there, but I don't stop to read it. Do you know
Right.
what I'm talking about?
Right, but if you stopped to read it, and
If
there
I
was
stopped
some
to read it and
if
it was
there if you
something that
stopped to read it and there was something on that plaque that
that
was
I
of
didn't agree with,
that was offensive to you,
then I'd keep it moving. I'm like, "Oh, well, that's bullshit."
you're a
I'm just
unicorn.
gonna keep it moving.
Most people don't feel that way. If you're seeing something that makes you uncomfortable, that makes you offensive, that offends you rather, that's offensive to you, you should not have to endure that at your job. You should be able to go
Mhm.
to your job and work there
But
without having.
okay, well, let's look at it from a different side point. If it I believe in the Bible. I believe in the 10 commandments and all that goes along with that. If
Okay.
it and why should I be kept from seeing that in a public setting just because you don't believe in it? So you're gonna
Because
take my right to read it and to look at it away just because, "Oh, well, I
no,
don't
honey,
believe in that." Well,
your
then keep
right
it
is not
moving. Don't
taken
read it.
away. Do it at home. Do it in the privacy of your home where
Mhm.
you can worship that
Oh,
Bible
so
as
we're
much
gonna
as you
do
want to.
everything to appease you. So
No,
I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna have to do
but why should
without.
it be the opposite? Why should it be the opposite?
Why can't it be displayed in one place in the school, and that way if you wanna see it, it's there. If you don't wanna see it, you keep it moving.
But you're not in a
It's
church.
kinda
Why does
like
it have to
having
be
a
if you wanna hear about
like
God?
having a flower garden at your school. Some people plant these little flower gardens, and it's a place where you can step away and regroup or whatever. If I don't want to ever go in that flower garden, I don't have to. You
But
just
if
keep it
you did
moving.
go in the flower garden though, Tammy, you're not gonna be offended by that. I'm talking about things that are going to offend you, that make you feel uncomfortable. That pretty little flower that's blooming in that flower garden is not going to offend anybody or make anybody feel uncomfortable, whereas
If they have allergies, it will.
as a religious document could
Mhm.
offend someone. My thought process is this, and I'm about to get really personal. My thought process is this: why take it to any public forum at all? If you want to learn about the Bible, Ten Commandments, anything religious oriented, because we all don't believe the same thing, take it to your church. That's why they have the business of church. Take
Mhm.
it to your church. Learn about it all day long. Worship it. Praise the Lord. Pray before your food. If I see you sitting in the break room at our work praying over your food, I'm not going to be offended by that because it's not posted as a document that I have to endure every single day. I'm just going to walk away from that. You can pray and have your own feelings,
You can walk away from a document that's hanging on the wall
but you
just as
can't.
easy as you could walk away from
No,
somebody praying. What's the
but
difference?
Tammy, you cannot. If a kid is sitting in the classroom, they cannot get up and walk away from that. They
No,
have to
I
sit
already
there.
said that I don't think it needs to be in every classroom. That's, whatever. I mean, why would you put a historical document on the wall of a math classroom?
Because
Has
that's
nothing to
what
do with
that's
math. You know, that's why it needs to be put in somewhere, you know, with your state seal, and you need to understand what your state seal
but what
is,
does
and
that
you
have
have
to do with the
that.
state?
And you get no, I'm saying your state seal. Like in certain places you go and you'll see they'll have the state seal displayed. Then you could have that document there and some other document
So let
about
me ask you
whatever
this
other
then.
things.
Let me ask you this, and you're saying that just because you think it's a historical thing that needs to be
Well, I
represented.
think that if my child that I raised in a Christian home, or if I was raised in a Christian home, if I wanted to see it, I could see it. It shouldn't be taken away from me just because you think,
That's
well,
your
that's
home.
being forced on me. No,
You're
it's not
probably
being forced on you. You're just walk away. It's so easy. Just walk the,
but
I almost said that word.
you shouldn't have to walk away from something because somebody else wants to see it.
And it shouldn't be denied me. I should not be denied the right to see it
You're
just
not.
because you think you're offended.
You're not denied to say, "You know what? The sidewalk, the public forum is not your personal space." It is not. It is everybody's personal space, and I think we have
Okay, if it's
to
everybody's personal space, then why don't I have the right to have it there?
because you have to respect other people's space.
Well,
That
why isn't
space
anybody
belongs to
respecting
everybody.
me?
We are because we're not putting stuff up that you don't agree. We shouldn't be putting up. Like, for example, let me get price. I was a minute ago. I was about to get personal.
Mhm,
You want to talk about the Bible or the Ten Commandments being,
mhm,
historical, right? What about
mhm,
KKK? KKK is a historical organization. What about
and
the gay flag? Here's the thing. I do not believe that the gay flag should be elevated above the state capitol. Because guess what? That is offensive to some people. I don't think that everybody believes in the gay lifestyle or whatever. So I don't want to push it down everybody's throat. I
but it
do not think that Gay Pride Month should be celebrated at the state capitol as far as elevating the gay flag. I don't believe that because
I
guess what?
do.
I don't. I don't because why should somebody that doesn't believe in gay marriage or the gay lifestyle, why should they be forced to see that above the capital that they are part of paying money to every time that they work?
Well, I mean, of course, you're not gonna take the Georgia flag down and put up the gay
No,
flag,
add it in addition
blah,
to.
blah, that flag. You're not gonna have the Christian flag up there, and you're not gonna have all these different flags that are. I mean, that's flying the flag above the Capitol.
But
That's
why
a
how
little
can you
different
choose
than
one
a
over the other
document
though?
put
How
on
can
the
you
on
ch
the wall.
But how can
But
you choose?
you should not hide it either. That is something that you should talk about because you need to be educated on the different things.
But Tammy, how can you choose one over the other? How can you choose to say, okay, well, let's talk about the Bible and the Ten Commandments because we don't want to hide it, but let's hide the KKK or let's hide, heterosexual or homosexuality. Let's not talk about that in the school because we don't want the kids to hear about that. We don't want the kids to hear about the KKK and the organization that came through and, the racism and
Uh-huh.
slavery. Let's hide that. We don't want to talk about that anymore. But let's bring the Ten Commandments into the class.
It
We
would
want to talk
be
about that.
that's kinda like saying, "Let's hide." When my gosh, I just lost my train of thought because I was
Well,
thinking about that earlier when you were speaking on it. When,
right.
when the Jewish were being, Hitler during that time frame, you need to know about that. You need to be educated on that because you don't want things like that to be able to happen again.
No, I'm
I
not
don't
saying
believe that you should hide anything.
I'm not saying hide it. I'm not saying erase it
Mhm.
from history. I'm not saying act like it doesn't matter. I'm not saying to eliminate it from education, but what I am saying is it should not be displayed permanently in a public building. If you
Mhm.
want to educate and talk about it in a course at school, then do that. But kids should then or would then be able to opt out of that particular course if they didn't want to take it. Whereas they can't opt out of seeing it every time they pass it if it's hanging up in a
Right.
hallway or whatever.
Right. And another thing that I don't believe in, and this really gets me fired up right here, is when they say, "Oh, well, I don't agree what's in that book in the library, so we're going to take them all and we're going to burn them."
Right.
That what gets me so fired up because guess what? If you do not want to read that book, whatever book it is, then don't read it. If you don't want your child to read that book, then don't allow your child to read that. Go to the school, complain, blah, blah, blah. But don't burn the books because everyone has a right to read their own book.
Well,
Just like they have
as
a right to see that 10 Commandments if they want to.
and they can. They can Google it.
Mhm.
They can put it in their home in their bedroom and wake up to it every morning in the
Mhm.
privacy of their own space. But why should it be in a public space that is funded in part by the people that don't believe in it?
Well, what about books in a public library that you don't agree with?
That's a different podcast. That's a different podcast. I have so many thoughts on that. But I kind of look at the gay side of the whole thing is if Texas can require the Ten Commandments in every classroom, then would it be
Uh-huh.
acceptable to require a pride flag in every classroom? There's a huge history behind homosexuality and the struggle and the fight and Stonewall and all the things,
Mhm.
gay wise. Then what if I started, or if I was in, the governor of, you know, Georgia and got some people to pass a law that
Uh-huh.
required the gay flag to be posted publicly in every public classroom. That's not right. And that's another thing that just drives me crazy about the gay community is wanting to put that flag up, every time on the state capitol and, the rainbow crosswalks. I hate that. I
I haven't
absolutely
seen
hate
that.
it. I
What's a
hate it. Do what?
it's a it's a crosswalk?
It's a gay flag crosswalk. They paint the gay colors in the middle of this like crosswalk. It's instead of a crosswalk, you got the gay flag colors that are painted on the street.
Wow, I've never seen that.
There's one here in Atlanta in Midtown at the corner of 10th and Piedmont. On every corner, four sides, it's the rainbow flag colors.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that's
Mhm.
right because not everybody's gay or supports the gays. So that's public street. Don't do that.
Do you
And I
think
think
that
that
could draw negative energy towards you too?
yes, and it's the same
Oh.
thing for the Ten Commandments. I don't wanna see people that don't believe in it, they don't wanna have to go and be put in that situation.
Mhm.
They don't wanna have to be put in that situation just because most of the people in the classroom believe in God, then therefore everybody should be subject to seeing it if they want to. I think there's certain things that need to be in the privacy of your own home. If it's religion, politics, I think political stuff should be, you know, should not be taught in school. That's another thing, but I don't know, I just feel like, you're talking about the 10 commandments, you're talking about gay pride. Both of those things represent someone's belief, right?
Yeah.
They represent somebody's belief. So, I think that both can make some families uncomfortable, right?
Uh-huh.
So, therefore, why put anybody in that situation? I would never wanna put anybody in this situation to feel uncomfortable about gay people because there's a freaking rainbow crosswalk that is screaming at them every time they cross over 10th and Piedmont.
Where are we going? Are we going over there where we can see the pretty colors today, Mom?
I don't know. I mean, and listen, I'm not trying to hide gay. I'm not trying to hide religion at all. I'm just saying I think there's a time and a place for everything. And I think my side of the porch on this topic is simple that listen, if you want to talk about it, if you want to go to church out in public, if you want to, go to a library, Barnes and Noble, if they even still exist anymore, I don't know.
I
If you
think
want to
there's
go
one
to a
in Athens.
well, yeah, and they have religious books. You should
Yeah.
have the freedom to do what you want and to believe what you want to believe in. But I just don't think in a public school like the state of Georgia or Texas just did,
Uh-huh.
Senate Bill 10, I don't think that they should, require it to be in every classroom. That is a political stunt, and shame on them for doing that.
And I think that they need to get a hands up because they did that.
Listen. I appreciate your opinion about it. I just,
Mhm.
we're on different sides of the porch on this one, which
We
I
are
love. I love
way
hearing
on opposite sides of the porch on that one. I'm
yes.
gonna sit over here and drink my drink.
I don't know. I know that this now has certainly, gotten a lot of legal challenges to it.
Mhm.
There's already been judges that have paused this. There was a central federal lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court in San Antonio by a diverse group of Texans, including, listen to this, Tammy, a diverse group of Texan families, including Christians, Jewish, Hindu, non religious, and others, filed a lawsuit to stop this. And a federal judge agreed, issuing a preliminary injunction blocking the enforcement of the law in at least 11 school districts. And again, this wasn't just you know, the I hate Jesus people. This was Christians that said, look, we don't want little kids who don't believe in God, Jews, Hindus, whatever. We don't want all these different denominations that don't believe, the same way that we believe. We don't want them to be forced to see this document every day. So a judge has paused it, and then there's been multiple other lawsuits filed by other groups related to this. But here's the thing: the freaking attorney general, Texas Attorney General, his name is Ken Paxton, issued or has instructed all districts not covered by the court order to comply with this law, and has even sued school districts for failing to post the Ten Commandments while the law is being challenged in court. So you tell me this is not a political stunt.
So here's my question. Why can't we just all come together and figure out how everyone can meet in the middle, have it somewhere in the school where it can be displayed? And even if you did like just take one area of the school and you displayed more than just the 10 commandments, you could take something from the King James Version Bible, you can take something from the Quran, you can take something from this and something from that,
But do
and
you
just
think the
have it.
school is really the appropriate place for all of that? Like, for example, and we
Absolutely, that's where you learned. That is a learning institution.
but you don't learn everything in school. You learn some things at home, and I think this is one of the things that should be learned and taught at home
And
because it
then
is
that
a
way,
very
when those children who come from Christian homes, they see something that they recognize, it's familiar to them. Other children who see something that they're familiar with at their home, they can look at that and see it.
but you're
And
going
that
to
way it's
school
not
and my
hidden. You don't have to be you should not have to go to school and feel ashamed of your religion or
Nobody
your
says you have to be ashamed of it,
non-religion.
though. Nobody said you had to be ashamed of it. What I'm saying is listen, embrace your religion. Like I embrace being gay. I am queer. I embrace it. I am
Hey,
queer,
queer.
right? But I embrace that. I'm proud of
Right.
who I am.
Mhm.
But I don't feel like it should be something that is displayed at school. The pride flag or I don't know, the gay commandments. I don't think that that should be displayed at school. I think
Right.
that there's a certain time and place for everything, and it's just like the
Right.
uproar about little trans kids being able to use the bathroom that they identify at school.
Mhm.
Now that's an uproar. The Texas legislature disagrees with that.
That's a whole nother podcast. I mean, that's way out there. So, yeah,
It is something I wanna talk about in another episode, but I don't know.
definitely.
I love you, I respect your opinion, I completely disagree with it, but you know what? That's why
Yeah,
we have this podcast.
absolutely. Because at the end of the day, your opinion is not gonna get me fired up.
Right. Well, I
My
mean, I'm
opinion
glad we
might
had
get
this
you
debate,
fired
though.
up, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna still have my opinion. I'm still gonna think that it needs to be displayed. I'm still gonna think that we need to have a moment of silence every morning for you to connect with your higher power, whoever or whatever. If your higher power is the granite rock at Stone Mountain, then you need to be able to have a moment of silence with that granite rock. If God is your higher power,
Nobody's
you
preventing you from doing that. Do it
right.
at home, do it on the weekends, do it whenever you wanna do it, as long as I'm not forced to see you do it, or I'm not forced to be a part of it, and,
I think that whenever you go to a football game and they have and I remember now my children were in a small town, of course, not in the city of Atlanta or up here, whatever. I raised my kids way out. And before the football games, they would pray out loud. It wasn't a moment of silence.
I don't think they
And I
should do
loved
that.
it.
I don't think they should do that at all. I saw a high school football coach before every game making all of the players like kneel down, take their helmet off or whatever and kneel down and pray. I don't think that you should be doing that. That is separation of church and state. You need to separate that. If they want to pray privately
Mhm.
amongst themselves before the game starts, by all means do that. Do it. But for the
But you
coach
have
to
that whole football team or whatever, and not one parent even was, like, upset with that. It was something that they all agreed on.
I just think that there's a difference between, teaching about religion and mandating a religious text or a
Mhm,
document, to be displayed or, you know, mandating a team to pray before a game. When the government requires a religious document to be posted, that is endorsement. When the public school coach requires the team to pray before a game, that is endorsing that religion. And no matter what we think about this, in my mind, just my side of it, no
mhm,
matter what our personal opinion is about this, it is a clear violation of the law,
mhm.
specifically the Constitution. And that's where I draw the line. I would not want anybody to be violating the Constitution just for their personal gain. And I think that's
Right.
what's happening in Texas right now.
And also to know the true meaning of the separation of church and state. Are we clear on that meaning?
Oh,
The true
100%.
meaning of that?
A 100%.
That's where the government cannot step in and say, "Okay, we are all going to be Baptist." That means the government can't step in and say, "This is going to be a national religion." It doesn't
W
have to do with a certain religion's
Correct. So what it
documents, like the
Agreed.
10 Commandments.
No, agree 100%. That's why it
Mhm,
shouldn't be posted because you can't single out one religion in my mind. But what it
mhm,
does mean to me is that the government doesn't pick favorites. The whole point is being neutral. You can practice
mhm,
religion freely, but the state doesn't promote it. The government doesn't promote it. So you hit the nail on the
mhm.
head, in my opinion. You can
Yeah,
be neutral about it. They can believe what they want to believe, but the government, the separation of church and state prohibits the government from picking a favorite and promoting one religion or any religion over another one.
right.
You have to be
But a
neutral.
religious document is not the government interfering. That's not the separate that doesn't have anything to do with the separation of church and state.
Yes, it
The
does.
separation of church and state is saying that the government cannot step in and say, "We are going to have one religion in the United States, and that's gonna be the Presbyterians
Well, no, it's I'm reading
or the
the separation of church and
Catholics."
state document, and it says that it means the government doesn't pick favorites. The whole point is neutral, being neutral.
Uh-huh.
You can practice religion freely, but the state doesn't promote it. The 10 commandments
So
are symbolic. They explicit religious instructions. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's religious, not civic. So, I just think that that is church, when you're talking
uh-huh,
about religion and God and all that, that is church. And then the school is state. You have to separate those two things.
and we're not talking about a building when you talk about church.
But I don't think it's specifically talking about a structure. It's talking about
Uh-huh,
what happens. You can have a church without having a specific
uh-huh,
building. So I think church is the things that fall under the
mhm.
umbrella of the Bible.
So if they display the 10 commandments, that is not forcing a one religion, a single religion. That's not
How
forcing that. That
how is
is
that
displaying a document.
a
That's it.
document that is specific to a religion?
But it's not forcing anything. It's not
If
forcing.
you're putting it
It's
on
just
that
saying
wall,
we're going to display the 10 commandments. That's all it's saying.
if you're
It's not saying that
requiring it,
you have to go to church next Sunday at First Presbyterian Church of South Georgia.
but what is requiring is that I have to see that document, that religious
Not if
document every
it's
day.
only displayed in one area. You do not have
But
to see
that's
that,
not what the
unless you
Texas
get in
law
trouble and go
says.
to the principal's office. Okay, well, then let's say this. What if you work for somebody who is a Christian person and they have
I
and
do.
you have to go in to their office or whatever, and they have, so say they have a bookshelf and they have their Bible on that bookshelf. Is that offensive because they brought their Bible to work?
Here's my response to that. We're not comparing apples to apples in that scenario. We're talking about a public school. The office I work at is a private practice.
Uh-huh.
It is not publicly funded. If it was a publicly funded practice, then it
Mhm.
should not be there. If it's
So what
private,
about, once again, the public library? Who funds the public library?
the
It's
government.
yes. So what are you only going to have
I do not think the 10 commandments should be displayed publicly on the
uh-huh,
wall for me to have to see it when I walk by it
uh-huh,
in the public library. If there's a book that's tucked away on a shelf somewhere that I don't have to pick up and read, then I'm okay with that. But if it is a document that is publicly posted, it's displayed in a frame, a
uh-huh,
16 by 20 frame, which is what the Texas
like the
law requires.
Constitution,
What?
like your Constitution,
Right.
or the words to the
Right.
Pledge of
Right.
Allegiance, all
Right.
that,
Exactly.
which
So
has
you have this religious document that is being required to be publicly posted in a 16 by 20 frame in every single classroom. I don't think that's right. I think it's against the law. And I also believe the same thing about posting that same exact document in a public library. I don't think that's
uh-huh,
right. I think that's against the law. Now, if there's religious books in that library that are on a shelf that I don't have to see, it's not,
uh-huh,
in my face when I walk by and somebody decides
uh-huh,
they wanna walk over and pick it up to read it on their
uh-huh,
own time, then I'm okay with that. I don't have to go pick that book up. But what I do have to do is I do have to walk by that document and see it every time I walk by it. And I
uh-huh,
shouldn't have to be forced to turn my head just because somebody else thinks that their religious beliefs are more important than mine if I'm on the other side of the front porch.
right, right.
But I
How do you feel how do you feel about a sovereign citizen? They
God, I
don't
don't know.
believe in any of that. They
Well,
don't believe in
I don't know.
religion,
That's
they don't I mean,
That's
So,
complicated.
what about their children? They have to go to school where there's an American flag, and they don't even wanna be citizens of the United States.
Well,
They're
if that's the
sovereign
case,
citizens.
listen, that's a different topic, of course, but if that's the case, then you know what? That's why they have private school. That's why they have homeschool. Then you don't have to participate in governmental things that, that fall under things that you don't believe in. So then
Mhm.
keep your kids at home. Keep yourself, away from the things that you don't believe in. Don't put yourself in that
Exactly, that's
situation.
my exact point. If you do not wanna see it, don't look.
No, I'm not gonna
But
go.
I should be able to
No,
go
what
to
I'm
school
saying
with
though
my
is
child for PTA or whatever and be like, "Oh, that's cool that that's displayed there," and keep it moving. It's not like I'm gonna be standing there and be like, "Y'all come over here and read this. Thou shalt not
but
kill,
but
thou
what's the
shalt
purpose
not
of
steal,"
so just
like that
because you
lady
believe
at
in it though
TJ
doesn't
Maxx.
just because you believe in it doesn't make it okay to be published. Well, a lot of people believe in homosexuality. So does that mean we need to publish the gay flag in every classroom? No, just because you believe in it doesn't mean that it should be published for everybody else
But it
to
also
see what
shouldn't
you
be
believe
something
in.
that's hidden.
It's
It's
not
you
hidden.
you should be able to oh, if that's what you're proud of and that's part of your heritage, then you should be able to display that as part of
Tammy,
your heritage.
I hear you, but listen, what you just said, if it's part of your heritage and you're proud of it, it should be able to be displayed. Then the certain group of people believe in slavery. That's part of their heritage. Should
Mhm.
we display that?
I don't think that slavery should be something that's ever
Why?
forgotten.
But why? It's part of someone's
Why
heritage. It's
should
what
you
they believe in.
Yes, and everyone should know about that and know
Well, why
what
shouldn't it
it
be displayed,
was.
Tammy? It's the
Why
same as the
should it
10
not
Commandments.
That's like saying that we should not have a Black History Month, which
No,
we
no, 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 no,
should.
but listen, based on what you just said, it's part of their heritage, right? The people that believe in Christianity and the 10 Commandments, that's history. That's part of their heritage. Why shouldn't they be able to see it when they go to school? Well, people that believe in slavery and discrimination, that's part of their heritage. They grew up in that era or whatever. It's part of their heritage. The
Mhm.
rebel flag, that's part of their heritage. So why shouldn't it be displayed? It's part of their heritage. It's
It is
history.
displayed in some
No,
areas.
no, no. Why I want it displayed in every classroom? Just like the 10 Commandments. It's the same exact scenario. It's you're talking about religion compared to
That's
something
what I
else.
said. You should be have, like I'm not saying in every classroom, not once did I say that the 10 Commandments look, I keep pointing at your wall. Not once did I ever say that the 10 Commandments should be in every
Okay,
classroom,
good.
but
Okay,
I do not see a problem with the 10 Commandments being posted in a school. I
do
do
you
not
see a
see a
problem
problem
with anything
Hold on,
related to slavery?
let me finish, and then we'll walk into that door. I don't believe that there's anything wrong with it being displayed at the state capitol, any of those places. Now, when it comes to your what did you call it? A rebel flag?
You know what a rebel flag is, girl. You're from the South.
I'm gonna have me one on my big shirt. What? No.
No, but
Anyway,
I think it's the same
I think that
scenario,
it needs to be something that you know what it is and what it represented, and
but it doesn't have to be displayed in order for that to happen.
but what
That's
does that have to do with
it's the
that is
exact
not a historical document, but that
the
is
people
something
that
that
believe in it say
happened.
it is his history.
So what about
But hold on a second. Let me respond to what you said. People
Mhm,
that believe in the rebel and slavery and
mhm,
segregation, that is history. That is history. They will argue to
and you
the
should not take their just you shouldn't take their right away to believe that if that's what they believe, even if you think it's
right,
wrong, I think
right,
it's wrong or whatever, you
right.
should still,
But
you
exact
know
same scenario though. We're talking about history. The
Mhm,
Bible, the 10 Commandments is history. People believe in that. Slavery,
uh-huh,
discrimination, rebel flag, all of that is history. People believe
mhm.
in that. So why should we just say it's okay for the 10 Commandments because it's history, but it's not okay for the rebel flag and all that stuff because that's part of the
It is
olden
part of history. I
right.
don't
So
think that that's something that you should ever forget, and it should I'm not
I'm
saying
not
that you
saying
need to
that.
Like,
Why can't
I
it be
think
the
there's
same
a place
scenario?
in do what?
Why can't it be the same scenario as the 10 commandments? Why do you think the 10 commandments is different than the rebel flag or the discrimination or the slavery? Why can't it be posted? Why is it any different?
It's there are those documents and those things posted in different places in public schools.
No. There's nothing that I've ever
So you're
seen.
telling me that you've never been to a public school where you saw political leaders and all the things,
Things about
and
slavery
I've
or
never and
racism.
it's not like you're going down the hall and you see these pictures of Jesus hanging on the cross. It's the
I've
10
never
commandments.
seen
Why is that
anything.
so bad? What is so bad about the 10 commandments that you just wanna ignore it?
It's not that there's anything bad about it. I'm not saying by all means am I saying
Mhm,
don't misunderstand what I'm saying, and I hope none of our people that are watching do either. I'm not saying there's anything bad about it. But
mhm,
guess what? To the people that don't believe in it, that's what bothers me. Just like the rebel flag and the hatred that's associated with the KKK and all the hate groups, or people want to call them hate groups, that's
mhm,
representing what they believe in.
mhm,
They're representing slavery and segregation and all the things that were associated with that back in the day.
mhm,
Those people don't see anything bad with that either. Just like
mhm.
people with the Ten Commandments don't see anything bad related to that. Well, the people with the slavery and all that, they don't see anything bad. But guess what? You can believe in it, but it should not be something that has to be displayed because you have other people. There's certain things that you should just say, okay, you know what? I understand that there's a large group of people that may not believe the same way that I believe. So they should not have to be forced to see this every day. I should not have to be forced to see the rebel flag or slavery documents every single day, something that's promoting slavery every single day just because it's part of the past. It's part of history.
That wouldn't be promoting it. It would just be example of this is a part of history. This is what happened. This is educational. This is letting you know. And if you hide, what if somebody is born into a family that is atheist or agnostic, either or, right? But they have a child that's born and they want to be a part of a, religion, Christianity, Catholicism, Buddhism, whatever they want to be a part of, then they should have a right to be able to see that even though when they go home, they won't be able to know.
But I guess my struggle, Tammy, is do what you want to do in your home and in your life with
Mhm,
your family and the people that believe what you believe.
mhm,
Go to church, the church that you create and that you tithe to every whatever, the Bible that you believe in, the man that stands before you every Sunday, Wednesday, whatever, and helps you understand and believe the things
mhm,
that you believe, that helps you continue to worship the person that you worship and have the biblical faith-based, ideas that you have. I'm okay with that. But there's a time and a place for everything in my mind. It's just
mhm,
like I am gay and I'm proud of who I am and I love that I'm gay and I don't think that I should have to hide who I am. But guess what? I also don't think that the gay flag should be, you know, hoisted above the state capitol every single June because it's Gay Pride Month. Because guess what? There's so many people that aren't gay that don't believe in it. So I don't want to put it up there when it's not part of who you are. You don't believe in
mhm,
it. I don't want you to do that. I don't want the rainbow crosswalks to be painted on a public street when there's people that don't believe the same way that I do. There's people that believe that I'm
mhm,
going to hell because I'm gay. That's their belief. Okay, you can believe that all day long. I shouldn't be forcing homosexuality on you or requiring you to see it in a public
mhm.
place just because I want my rights. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm
But
gonna
sometimes
be
to get what you want, and no matter what situation is, if you're to get what the respect you want and what you need, sometimes you might have to march on it.
Well, guess
And
what?
that could
We've done
be,
that. We've done it. We should have the
yeah,
same rights. Religious people like you and other people should have the same rights as everybody else. Gay
yes,
people should have the same rights as
absolutely.
everybody else. Your rights should not be different because you believe in God.
Mhm.
My rights should not be different because I don't. My rights should not be different because I'm gay. Your rights should not be different because you're straight. We can all have the same rights. And we did march. We had to march and fight for our rights, and we still have to. And
Yeah,
here's the thing, if I wanna if I wanna promote being gay, my gayism, if I wanna promote being gay, I go to gay pride. There is a gay pride
yeah,
festival every single month. Just like if you wanna promote being Christian, go to church, but don't go to school to promote that. And if you're putting something on a wall, I don't care what you wanna call it, if you wanna split hairs all day long, if you're putting it on a wall, you're plastering it on a wall permanently, that is promoting it. But that's just my side, Tammy. I love you. I love your side of it too. Hello? Oops, I think Tammy froze on us. Well, sorry, y'all. I think her battery might have died or she froze. I don't know. Maybe she just got really pissed off at me. But at the end of the she's actually calling me right now. Hey girl.
my freaking laptop gonna go dead.
I just told all of our audience that you got pissed off and hung up on me. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all for joining us. This has been another episode of Both Sides of the Front Porch, and we're so glad that you can follow this journey with us and we can give you both sides, right, Tammy?
That's right. That's right. And you're hearing me from my cell phone because my laptop went dead right when I was all geared up to really say what I wanted to say.
Honey, that was God telling you. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness. No, at the end of the day, it's okay to be passionate about your topic and to believe in what you believe or what you don't believe. It's your right.
100%,
So stand
absolutely.
so stand firm on what you believe in.
For sure, absolutely. All right, y'all. We
Yes.
appreciate you. Follow us on all social platforms at Front Porch BS and go to our website, frontporchbs.com. And until next time, it's real talk, y'all.
Real talk, y'all.